Hello, 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 everyone. It is so good to be here. As much as I was having quite an emotional morning, it's actually really nice to be here with you guys this morning. Let me try to change. Hold on one second. I am not at my house, obviously. I am somewhere else. So bear with me. And if you can let me know how the sound is, just so I know. Hello, Indiana. Hi, Eric. Hello from Chicago, Colorado, Hawaii. From the Netherlands, Chicago, another Chicago. My computer is heating up, so give me a moment while I re-evaluate it. Really would like to get an external camera. Woo! Okay, Untangled episode 48. Thank you guys for being here. I don't know where I'm going to start, what I'm going to do today at all. Yeah, how are you guys doing? How have you been? It's been a roller coaster ride for me, although it's been amazing. It's been beautiful, but it's also been quite a roller coaster ride. I'm in Chicago right now, and I'm going to Toronto tonight for my my in-person event tomorrow night. If you're in Toronto or in the Toronto area, come out and see me tomorrow night, the 24th. It's going to be a lot of fun. But man, it is intense right now in terms of personal evolution, our own personal, internal awareness shifting, healing, allowing, all of it. I think that whether you want to be experiencing whatever it is that you're experiencing or not, we, at this point on the planet and at this point in our evolutionary shift, the frequencies that are on the planet right now, you don't have a choice in terms of what is arising in your everyday life in order to present to you what it is you need to see within your own world that you have been continuing to project out into the external world. The ways in which, and this is something that we've been talking about for forever, right? It's like, dun, da, 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 it's a freaking record player. And that is the profound awe of this human experience, is that it's a mother freaking record player. It's the same thing over and over and over and over, and until there's some sort of kind of pop and there's a deeper level of settling into this wholeness of who you are, outside of or detached from the limiting beliefs, the trauma, the projections of others, the projections of this world, the need to, the shoulds, the have tos, the pressure we put on ourselves to present in a certain way, to look a certain way, to feel a certain way. It's going to intensify, and it's going to continue to intensify. And every moment that you think that you have nailed it, that you have come out the other end, hands in the air, like, yes, something else will present itself that needs to be seen. And this is why I truly believe that being in this human experience at this time on the planet is the most courageous. It's interesting. So many layers of this human journey, but I wrote a book called The Divine Design, and it's really out there on a lot. It's very complex and very quantum. It's very, very quantum, but it's also very much kind of out there in terms of aliens and higher dimensional light beings and abductions, hybridization program, how we got here on the planet, how was the human body designed. And it's been something that I have been resisting and fighting against, because what's most important for you and for me is to be able to be our most authentic expression, to be free in this world without being constrained by our mind, imprisoned by our mind, right? That you can be all of you, that you can feel everything, that you can listen to every thought, and you're no longer believing it as the absolute truth of you. That whatever emotion you have is not who you are, and that every emotion is allowed to be expressed and displayed in all of its nastiness and all of its uncomfortableness. That's truly our highest state. That's our most whole aligned state, in my opinion, is to be so free that you have literally broken free out of what so many people think they've already done, which is breaking out of the matrix, which most of us haven't done. Because the only way to truly break out of this matrix is to be able to stand so deeply in it that you're no longer trying to break out of it. That the louder your thoughts, I don't know about you, but my thoughts have been significantly louder than normal. I have been going through some emotional things and some like beliefs around myself that have been so intense, that it's been like this heavy blanket on me, right? It's like, Lori, you got to see this, you got to look at this, you got to recognize this, um, and it can be really uncomfortable. We're not taught how to navigate uncomfortableness, right? So to me, the most important thing for us to really be in is the awareness that we're none of this. And how do I listen to thoughts? Blah, blah, blah. How do I feel the emotion? However, I wrote this book, The Divine Design, and it's like a science fiction movie. It's fascinating. And it talks about aliens and how they have been such a huge part of our um, existence here on this planet, and how they have played such a significant part in this evolution that humanity is going through, in such a way that these aliens, I'll tell you why I'm bringing this up, but these aliens have actually stopped the atomic bombs and the destruction of the earth back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. It was the aliens, the higher dimensional beings that came in. The planet would have already been destroyed physically by these atomic bombs that the humans were creating. Very similar to what happened millions of years ago. And I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast yesterday, or the day before, with this guy named James Fox. I don't know if you have heard of him. Go watch the podcast. It's I don't know what number, it's not that far down from the most recent one. His name is James Fox. And I started listening to this podcast and I was like, holy shit. James Fox has done a lot of documentaries about contact with aliens, human contact with aliens. Um, and has anybody seen it? It's the documentary that he's talking about in the Joe Rogan was Moment of Contact. And it's this story of this town in Brazil where a UFO had crashed, and there were actual two beings that were walking around the town that got caught. They caught them, took them to a in a hospital, and then I haven't listened to the rest of it. But this man was like, he shied away from this story for 12 years because it was like, this is insane. This happened back in 1996. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because there's so many layers to what we're going through right now. And there's so much happening for us, by us, behind the scenes. And to remember and to recognize our history with higher dimensional light beings, the history of this planet, to me, is one of the most freeing remembrances that we can have. Because although I believe that the most important thing that we could possibly be doing right now is going inward over and over again, breaking free from our own inner prisons by recognizing thought, recognizing emotion, becoming aware, observing, seeing the patterns that continue to come up, allowing ourselves to have compassion, blah, 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 compassion for ourselves, all this stuff, right? It's very self-centered. It's very focused on me, I, blah, 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 right? It's extremely important to change the entire world by changing your internal world, 100%. But there is also this magnificent historical platform that we have been in as the one thinking that we're the human. We are in constant communication. Hello, Susie. Constant communication. James Fox with James Rogan. Yeah. Constant communication with higher dimensional light beings in our dream state. There is constant communication with higher dimensional beings and the governmental systems. We have intimate relationships from past lives with higher dimensional beings, right? We are, in essence, higher dimensional awareness, higher dimensional consciousness. And so it's part of this breaking free from I am these emotions, I am these thoughts. Like, I have to do all of this internal work in order to ... And it's like this relaxation into like, oh shit, dude, there is so much more happening simultaneously, right? There is, this can all be allowed. This can all be juggled. We can juggle the higher dimensional beings, the aliens, the whatever, UFOs, whatever you want to call it. And we can juggle the very human dynamic of relationships, friendships, jobs, lack. Like, it's not, and it will not be black or white, one or the other. It has to be an accumulation and a consumption, a remembrance of all of it. We are here to walk amongst the quantum field, which we're already doing. We're here to recognize the potential that we have as the human, and yet the suffocation that we are in the density of the third dimension, right? The suffocation of the forgetting, the amnesia. We have amnesia over and over and over every single freaking day. We've got this amnesia, which is like, I forgot what I'm doing here. I forgot that I chose to be here. I forgot that I'm not these emotions. I forgot that I chose these contracts with these people. I forgot that I do deserve, abundance and all these things. And it's this very, very human battle with just trying to survive right now, just trying to get through the day without letting your mind literally destroy you. And simultaneously realizing this massive evolutionary shift that an entire planetary body is going through, where millions of higher dimensional consciousnesses are not only watching, but assisting. That's an absolute truth. Not only that, but most of you have been on the planet millions of years ago as consciousness in physical form, as these highly evolved humans interacting and engaging with higher dimensional awarenesses simultaneously on the planet. And all we're doing right now is walking ourselves back into that physical reality that we were in millions of years ago. Nothing that we're doing right now is out of the ordinary. How this is insane. Oh my God, we're going to be hanging out with there's higher dimensional consciousnesses. And what do you mean this is all old. This is all things that we have been living in and with for millions of years ago. Everything that we are going through right now is a deep remembrance. It's a deep remembrance. Millions of years ago, were there abductions? No, but there were the creation of races, which is the creation of other alien kind of species, right? Which is a whole other topic, but that existed. But how does that help me right here, right now, when I'm trying to get through my own unworthiness, right? This is about being so present in what is while you simultaneously juggle all of these other realities, right? And realizing what you're actually doing here on the planet. You specifically, what you're actually doing here on the planet, the deep, deep cellular memory of what we're doing, what I'm doing, and what you're doing, while we get so caught up in our everyday lives. We get so caught up in trying to navigate relationships and trying to find a better job, trying to make more money, be more successful, make a bigger impact, be kinder to people, heal your abandonment wounds, whatever that is, right? Which feels so prominent. And it is, because it's the way through. But how many of us can also simultaneously juggle at the exact same time? Wow. As I'm sitting here on this park bench crying, because that's what happened this morning. No joke. I was sitting on a park bench with my coffee, crying. I was getting so present with what was, with what is, right? So I just watched this amazing documentary. I was aware of like my book, The Divine Design, that I wrote, and how it was connected to this absolute knowingness around these aliens, whatever you want to call them, higher dimensional beings. And then I got pummeled into this thing that's happening in this relationship that I'm in, that pummeled me into my core wounds this morning, right? Sadness. And I was sitting in presence, sadness arising. And I was watching myself fight against that sadness. I'm not going to feel the sadness. I'm going to be strong. I'm not going to give, power to the sadness. And it was like, what the fuck am I saying? I'm not going to give power to the sadness. The sadness is the power. The present moment is showing me sadness as arising, right? Regardless of what sadness is saying, regardless of the stories around the emotion, being human is so freaking badass because you have to show up. You have to show up so authentically. You have to be so vulnerable. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. You don't have it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out. And anyone else out there that tells you they have it all figured out is full of shit. Most people aren't going to say they have it all figured out because they realize how humbling the human experience is. And so if humanity gets too caught up in these stories of like, the financial system collapsing or UFOs coming down, or is this is this controlled opposition, or all this bullshit nonsense that doesn't matter in the big scheme of things. It's like anything that is distracting us from first and foremost getting present with what is, right? You start here. You start with what's arising within you. And then you start allowing these deeper cellular memories of what you're doing here on the planet. Why are you actually going through this emotion? Why are you actually letting yourself break? Why are you actually being told by yourself to listen to your thoughts? Why are you becoming more of an observer? Why are you doing all of this healing work? Just to freaking do it for yourself? Just to be a complete human? Just to be whole? No, you're doing it because you came here to step into the more advanced human. You came here to break out of, to shift, to evolve into the new advanced, which isn't even any more advanced human. That's why you're doing it all. And the more advanced human is just the human that understands that they're none of this. It's so simple yet so complex. The advanced human, the human that we are stepping into every single day, is aware of all of these amazing aliens that have come in the past, that are here with us now, regardless of, the stories around it, all that other stuff, right? I mean, 20 years ago, there was only so much that humanity could hold. Now there's so much more that humanity is capable of holding, and we will continue to be able to hold more and more information, right? That is evolution. That's the human consciousness evolving. Every single thing that you are going through, believe it or not, has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with the human evolution in consciousness, which is why you're here right now. It's why you're in the physical body. It's why you're feeling whatever you're feeling. It's why you're continuing to look at your trauma. It's why you are continuing to find yourself in patterns that you want to scream and pull your hair out because you're still in it. It's why you look back at your life and you're like, wow, I just wasted 30 years of your life. You didn't waste 30 years of your life. You're just becoming more aware of how you want to be in life. All for the evolution in consciousness for humanity. So you're participating in it. You're part of it. You're standing in this. What else is arising? What's arising in the external world? How much are people projecting onto you? Probably a lot more than before. Great. This is most humans don't know how to handle this really intense rattling of the illusion. Most humans will continue to focus on these external stories. Most humans will focus on something that is going to happen later. I can't wait until. Blaming it on the rest of the world. Blaming it on people not being awake or whatever it is. And meanwhile, it has everything to do with what's arising in every single second of every single moment within your own inner world. While you stay open to the deep remembrance of, holy shit, I came here for this. Wait a second. I knew this was all going to unravel like this. I knew this was the lifetime that I would actually have to physically, which is energetically, shift out of the deep, deep beliefs around thought and emotion. It doesn't matter how many lifetimes you've lived, how many magical witches that you were, how many, magical ways in which you've done all these things in your past life. This is the lifetime in the third dimensional world, third dimensional reality, third dimensional physical existence that we actually step out of being in the illusion that we're thought and emotion and behavior and the identity of Lori Ladd or Ellen or Paul or Sam or Tammy or Karen or Susan. That's the role you're playing. This is the lifetime that you came here as consciousness, as light, as spirit, as God, as whatever you want to call it, to remember this. This is the lifetime, not next lifetime and not any previous lifetime. This is it. And we have free will, so we may or may not, and humanity is going to continue to progress into this deep awareness. And the more that we realize, I am not Susan, I am not Karen, I am not JoJo, I am not Sun Hero, I am not Sam McPherson, right? The more that we realize that we are not the role we're playing, that we are not the Heidi, the Alexandra, right? The more we will realize how much more is around us, working with us, assisting us. And it won't be this divided story of, you know, alien warfare or whatever the heck people are going to create in order to continue to pull you out of sovereignty, compassion, love, awe, the awe of life, the awe of life. No matter how sick you may be in your body right now, what you're fighting in your body, what your body's actually healing you from. It doesn't matter what excuses you're making. It doesn't matter how much pain you're in, how badly you want to be out of whatever you're in, how sick and tired you are of whatever you're sick and tired of. None of that matters, because what it is showing you is whatever you need to see about your thoughts and your emotional states to recognize that you're not the thought or the emotion, so that you can be what you've always been and what you came here to be. Recognizing and remembering that whether you like this next sentence or not, you chose so much of what you're in right now. You chose so much of it. We chose so much. We chose so many relationships we find ourselves in. We did. There are deep, deep contracts that you're in with people right now that are giving you the greatest freaking gifts. And what do? We blame the other person, right? It's their fault. They have these issues. They're codependent. They don't understand boundaries. They're this, they're that. Meanwhile, from a much higher perspective, this is a contract that you both created prior to incarnating in order to remind you of who you are. This other person in your life, or these other people in your life that you are upset with, that you are blaming for whatever you're experiencing, most likely is a deeper contract that you agreed to upon incarnating. Crossing your fingers, you actually connect with them in some magical freaking way, because there's 7 billion humans on the planet. Good luck finding the ones you contracted with. Somehow we find these humans, we connect. There's a strong energetic, you're in it with them. And now they're going to show you all the things that you asked them to show you so that you could remember who you are, and vice versa. And yet what we do is it's about them, it's about them, it's about them, it's about them. They need to change, they need to fix, they need to figure it out. They're wounded, they're scarred. It's like, you might want to stop doing that for a second and realize there's something much deeper happening. It's called the evolution in human consciousness. It's called agreements and contracts from a much larger perspective. It's called nothing is an accident or a mistake. And everything is showing you what you believe and think and feel about you. Everything. And a lot of humans don't like that, but that's the truth. It doesn't mean that you take the shit that this person may be giving you. You hold firm boundaries. You walk away if it's time to walk away. You know, you speak your truth if it's time to speak your truth. You do what you need to do. But if you're blaming this person for every single thing that you are thinking and feeling as if it is all their fault, I encourage you to step back and say, wait a second. What is arising within me? What is it that is being shown to me about me? This person is throwing all these things onto you. They're trying to change you. They're trying to fix you. They're trying to tell you what to do. They're saying whatever they're doing, they're angry and they come at you. Doesn't mean you don't hold firm boundaries. It doesn't mean you don't stand up for yourself. But it's them coming at you is not about you. You going at them is not about them. This is true sovereignty. This is what we are being pummeled into over and over and over again. We want to heal the world. We stop doing the blame game, the victim game. That is an absolute game changer. It doesn't mean that this person isn't doing something that is impacting you. If this person is saying mean things or being passive aggressive or gaslighting or whatever you want to call it, okay, and you're in it with them, of course they're doing that. Of course it's making you feel a certain way. But what are you believing about yourself? What are the thoughts that you're believing about yourself that are keeping you in this? That are somehow unconsciously allowing you to somehow make this okay. Family member or not, it doesn't matter to me if it's a mom or a dad or a brother or a sister. In fact, the family members are the ones that have the deepest contracts. And a contract doesn't mean that if you have a family member that you have a contract with, okay, and you can cut the contract without cutting that person out of your life. It's an energetic completion. I've learned the lesson. I'm not going to keep repeating the same lesson. I'm complete. Whether it's with your mom or your dad or your brother, your sister, your husband, your wife, your children. What happens when you energetically let go of this contract that you have been playing in, that has been showing you ways in which you've been believing yourself to be that you're done doing, then you start interacting completely differently with this person. And if this is a mom or a dad and you walk away, that's fine. If it's a partner and you walk away, that's fine. And if you stay, that's fine. But if you stay, this person's going to either have to adjust and recalibrate how they are with you, or they're going to fight against it for a very long time and try to get you to play in the old ways, the way you used to be with them. They're going to try to pull it. This is how we are. This is how we play together. Right? And when you cut the contract, when you're complete, when you are sort of healed from whatever it is that this contract was teaching you, it has nothing to do with you walking away or not. It has everything to do with how you're showing up as you. The knowingness that you are continuing to peel back more and more layers of the illusion, the game that you're playing in this human journey. Wow, look at what I still believe wow, look at the thoughts that continue to pull me into these stories. Well, look at what I'm still accepting or allowing. And then the deep, deep compassion that you have. The deep compassion you have for yourself, and then the deep compassion you start having for others. And if you continue to try to bring yourself back to the awareness that this truly isn't about you, that you're actually doing all of this for something so much bigger, that's a truth I will stand on until the day I die. That you are not here to heal yourself. You are not here to break free yourself. You are doing everything so that you can assist humanity through this. Whether you understand that, whether you believe that, and whether you even know how you're doing it, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And most humans, 99.9% of humans, have forgotten all of this. This is a huge experiment that we are in. This is a huge, divine, designed experiment, and you agreed to be in it. And maybe you don't have enough money right now to pay your bills, so you could care less. Maybe you're going through a breakup, so you could give a shit less, Lori. I really don't care that this is an experiment. I hear you. I am literally just trying to get through my day. I hear you. I have so much physical pain, Lori, that I could care less that this is some divine designed experiment. I hear you. It's still true. I'm trying to navigate some deep, deep inner trauma that's arising, Lori. I don't care. I hear you, but guess what? It's still true. You're still not what it is that you think that you are, that you're going through, that you're navigating. It's not you. And you can fight me all you want, but it's not you. And the you that is trying to awaken out of the false version of you is cheering you on, is wrapping its arms around you, saying, keep going, don't give up, is reminding you over and over again that every single thing that you are doing is absolutely perfect and all of the imperfection of it, because you live on a planet that is absolutely perfectly imperfect. There is no such thing as perfect. There is pain and sadness and discomfort and uncomfortableness and love and joy and peace and beauty. And the you that remembers, the you that you actually are, that courageously agreed to come in and unravel all of this, to go through some massive shift in consciousness that you've completely forgotten, is right here, right now with you, literally applauding you. As the you that you think that you are is literally kind of scratching the ground, like, am I gonna fucking get through this? Like, what in the is this? And then there's this part of you that's like, you are such a freaking bad ass that you're even down there on the floor, crawling your way through trauma and pain and lack and whatever you're going through, and love and joy and peace and beauty. And this version of you that you have always been is going to come over and try to lift your head up. Look around. Look around. Look at the beauty, look at the birds, look at the sky. Feel your breath. Do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember? Nope, I don't remember. I can't freaking get out of my head. Hear you. I hear you. My thoughts are literally pulling me down crazy street. Yeah, and guess what? You still came here for this. And guess what? You're going to forget. And that's why when I go back into my book and when I go back into that interview with James Fox and remember, my God, you know, there is so much more happening on the planet right now. And yet we're the soldiers on the ground. You're the soldier on the ground. You're not in some spaceship twirling around, coming in and out of dimensional fields, stopping these atomic bombs and everything else that they're doing to try to destroy the planet and poison us. That would be pretty badass. But you want to know what's more badass? Being on the ground. Physically having to step out of the idea that you're thought. Physically and energetically having to step out of the fear of any emotion as you continue to feel every single emotion. Here's what you're going to do as a human. Okay, what am I going to do? You're going to go down into a physical reality where you're not going to be able to not feel. And it's going to be so uncomfortable. There's going to be so many things that you're going to feel that you're not going to want to feel, that you won't be able to get out of. Okay, go on, I'm in. And your purpose through all of this is to recognize that you can feel every single thing, no matter what it is, because it can't destroy you. Okay, I have a question. Yes, what's your question? Am I going to be able to decide what energies I feel? You can't decide what energies you feel. Okay, I have another question. Yeah. Are all the feelings going to be good? No. Most of them, handful of them, majority of them, well, let's just say 70% of them for the beginning of your life until you start to remember you're not going to like any of them. Next question. Yes. Am I going to have defense mechanisms that are going to help me like not feel things until I realize that I can feel everything? Yes, 100%. Yes, Lori, go on. Am I going to eventually recognize these defense mechanisms and realize that I don't need these defense mechanisms because there's absolutely nowhere to run? And the only thing that I absolutely can do is feel? Like that's the safest thing. I'm going to realize that. I'm going to remember that there's nowhere to run, that I just have to feel. Hopefully, Lori, you'll remember that. That's what I'm doing down there? Yeah. And then you're going to remind the rest of humanity that they are not their emotions. Okay. Oh, and by the way, yeah, there's thought. What's thought? Interesting question. Can't really explain it. You'll know thought when you go into the human body, but thought's pretty insane. Thoughts create your reality. What do you mean thoughts create my reality? I can't just create my own reality based on the energy and frequency of my body. I can't just shift it. No, because you believe that you're your thoughts and your emotions. So that's what dictates your reality. Come again? Thoughts dictate my reality? Yeah, because you believe them. I believe something that's not real? Yeah. But, Lori, you're going to eventually, hopefully, cross your fingers, realize that thoughts are just these forms that come and go, and they're not real. But for a majority of your life, you're going to believe every thought that comes in. Where does thought come from? Comes from the external world, every experience you have. So I can't actually stop thought. No, you can't stop thought. Can I control like the thoughts that come in? No, you can't control the thoughts that come in. And every thought that comes in has the potential to make me believe that it's true, and then it creates my reality? Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, it's intense. So how do I remember that I'm not thought and emotion? How do I remember that I'm this magnificent God-like essence that I am right now? Coming back to stillness. Huh? What do you mean coming back to stillness? Aren't I always in stillness? Not down there, you're not. You're never in stillness down there. What am I in? Future and past. The fuck does that mean, future and past? It means that you're always thinking about the past or you're always thinking about the future. Why would I do that? Because you're trying to control. Well, why would I control? Because you don't feel safe. Why do I not feel safe down there? Because you think you're your thoughts and your emotions. Okay, so stillness. What else? Well, you're not going to remember any of this. Okay, well, keep telling me anyways. Maybe I'll remember parts of it. You want to be still. You want to be present. You want to allow. Allow? Wouldn't I allow everything? What do you mean? I want to allow? This makes no sense. You'll know when you get down there. You want to just allow everything. But aren't I always in a flow state? Not down there. You're in resistance down there. What is resistance? Oh, well, resistance is when you don't want to be in what you're in. Come again? How could I not want to be in what I'm in if what I'm in is what I'm in? You'll see. Just wait. Okay. Resistance. That's the strangest thing I've ever heard, but I'm going to be in resistance. So I have to remind myself to come back into the flow state that I'm naturally always in as this beautiful, amazing God consciousness that I am right now. Yep. Oh, and by the way, Lori, yes, I'm listening because this is beyond fascinating. You're also going to be surrounded by billions of humans that have completely forgotten everything that I'm telling you. Oh, okay. So you're going to go down there, my friend. Yes. And you're going to try to remember. Good luck, but you will try to remember. And when you try to remember, you're then going to try to remind other humans. And that, my friend, is the evolution in human consciousness. And there will come a time where a majority of the humans will remember what they have incarnated into. And in the meantime, it's this slow believe that you are everything that you have ever experienced on the planet. That's what I'm doing down there. Can I ask you another question? Yes, please go ahead, Lori. What are the chances? What are the chances that I'm going to remember? Well, we have a feeling, Lori, that you're gonna excel. It's gonna take you a while because you're gonna have addictions. You're gonna have some trauma in the beginning of your life that's gonna create a lot of addictions, and addictions make it real difficult to start kind of tapping deeper into the remembrance. But there's this thing called percentages on the planet. And we're gonna give you the percentage of about 75%. 75 freaking percent. Yeah, it's a good percentage. Trust me. Trust us. So if there's anything, Lori, that you remember when you start waking up, is that you are down there to wake up the rest of humanity. You are there to take people out of suffering. Excuse me, what's suffering? Oh, okay. Well, suffering is the natural state of the human down there. What does suffering feel like? It's like completely trying to run away from something that you can't run away from, but you're trying really hard. You're exhausted and you're unhappy or miserable. Well, I don't know what that means. You'll know. Most humans are in some sort of state of suffering. And so the more that you can remember, Lori, as you go down here, that you are not the emotions and the thoughts, that you are this grand God-like essence in human form, agreeing to participate in the crazy show and energetic world that you're going to find yourself in physical world. The more that you can remember that, the more you'll be able to remind the other humans. And the more that you can remind the other humans, the less suffering there will be on the planet. Because, my friend, yes, I'm listening. This sounds like an absolute nightmare, but I am listening and I'm in. Apparently, I'm in. Apparently, I'm incarnating. Apparently, I think this is a good idea. But the more you remember, the more compassion you start feeling for yourself and others. More compassion? Isn't compassion like, isn't that like, isn't compassion something that you were always going to feel down there? Oh, no, 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 no. I don't have compassion for myself when I'm down there. No, 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 no. How could I not have compassion for myself? Because you blame yourself for everything. How the fuck would I blame myself for everything I'm going through down there? If it's just what's happening, if it's just what I'm going through. It's what the human does. They blame themselves. I'm in. I'll do this. I'll try it out. Now, Lori, yes, there's a lot of God consciousnesses down there that have tried this out many, many times. They're kind of tired of being down there when they start remembering. Well, I can understand that. So be compassionate when you're waking humanity up. You're going to have to say it 1,000,000 times over, because that world down there, as beautiful as it is going to continue to pull the God essence in each physical form back into the belief that they are that human. So be the record player. Don't give up. And this analogy is not just my analogy. It's your experience. It's a conversation that happened with all of us. telepathically, not physical words, but it's a conversation that we all had. And to be able to remember that as we are courageously navigating, thank you, Heidi, so much for the super chat. The more that we can remember that conversation that you don't believe that you had because of how much frustration and anger you may have in what you're in right now. Thank you, Susan, for the super chat. The more that you can remember that, the more that you can at least, thank you, Louise, for this super chat. Thank you, Susan, for another super chat. The more that you will be able to have compassion first for the absolute badass human version that you think you are. Absolutely incredible what you're in, no matter what. Thank you, Ariana, for the super chat. No matter what pain you are in physically or emotionally, no matter what high you are in physically or emotionally. But first and foremost, you start to remember that conversation. You start to have compassion for yourself. And then you turn around and say, holy shit. It's time to be of service to humanity by being the example in any small, tiny way that I can, by simply acknowledging another human on the street, by simply petting a dog, by waving to someone, saying someone's name that you see on their name tag, being in connection, being in this experience, in this human journey with others, recognizing that we are all in this together, that all of us, no matter what theories you want to go and run down in terms of, soulless humans, or I don't care about any of that. We are all God consciousness. And we are all navigating this deep, 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 deep belief that we're thought and emotion, and it's intense. And so any tiny little moment throughout your day that you can remember that conversation that I just had with, I don't even know what energy that was reminding me of what I was going down into. Perhaps it may be a tad bit easier to get through what you're going through, or to be a little bit more compassionate. Kindness and compassion is key right now for you and for others. Deep, deep remembrance that there are no mistakes, none. No matter how difficult, no matter what you find yourself in again and again and again and again and again, and that nobody is doing anything to you. This person's narcissistic, this person's that. Stop. Stop. You didn't incarnate into this magnificent planetary evolution to continue to point fingers at someone else. How are you showing up? What are you remembering about yourself? What are you still believing? What are you participating in? Taking full responsibility for the amnesia that we find ourselves in. You came here to feel so much so that you can remind yourself and humanity of who they are, this God like essence that is in all of us. And it's not woo-woo or spiritual or any of those words. It's not spiritual. It's truth. It's not the spiritual path. It's the human path. It's the path. It's not um it's not anything other than our story. Thank you, Denise, for the super chat. It's remembering our stories. So whatever is arising for you right now, or what now, or the next now. Now, however, thank you so much, Oded, for the super chat. Whatever it is that you are denying and fighting against and resisting, or you're embracing and loving and allowing, where's the part of you inside of you that's holding you, that's wrapping its arms around you, that's cheering you on? Right? Where is that part of you when you're in whatever it is that you're beating yourself up over? Thank you, Star, so much for the super chat. There is so much that I have been showing myself lately. Um, so much. And when I come out of it, I'll definitely share more of what I'm in. But what I can say is the more that I remember what it is that I am moving through, what I'm here to remember, it's not a bypassing, it's an embracing. We're here to embrace all of this. And it's not about, it's okay that we are in human mode, because we are always going to be in human mode. We're going to be the human. Thank you, Odette, again for the super chat. We're human. We're playing the human role. But it's about starting to tap into the you that had that conversation prior to incarnating. The you that is also here at the same time as the Alicia and the Sam and the Bridget and the Olga and the Oded and the Megan and the Lisa, right? It's the you that is beyond that is also present with the you that is being human. Because like we were told when we incarnated, there's nowhere to go. I won't be able to not be the human. Oh, no, 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 no. You are going to be even more human. You're going to devour being human. In fact, you're going to understand just how freaking amazing and incredible it is. Why wouldn't I remember that from the get-go? Because you believe that you're the thought and the emotion. And then you are resisting and fighting against the human, the beautiful, miraculous awe of being human. Because one thing we can tell you, Lori, is that when you are remembering just how profound the human is, you'll drop to your knees and you will want to squeeze every moment out of life, because you will realize the absolute gift of the physical reality. I'm excited. I'm ready to go in. I can't wait to be physical. I can't wait to experience physical reality. Just know we're here. We're always with you. Thank you, Peter. You're never alone. You're never disconnected. You never make a mistake. Ever. You can never make a mistake. Welcome to the human evolution. Welcome to being human. Welcome to your remembrance. Welcome back home. And the bells ring. Perfect timing. I couldn't have planned it more perfectly. Oh, that's right. I didn't plan it. All right, you guys. What an absolute gift to be here on the planet with you, to be in this human journey with you, to reconnect in physical form, to walk side by side with you, remembering over and over and over again, and then over again. There's nothing I would rather do than to be walking with you in deep remembrance, um, continuing to watch ourselves be pummeled by the absolute magnificent shit show that is the human journey. All of it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for courageously waking up every day. Thank you for feeling what you're feeling. Thank you for bringing awareness to all of your thought. Thank you for the ups and then the downs, the frustrations, the heartache, the love, the joy, the sadness, the irritability. Thank you for all of it. You have made a significant impact on the planet. You are making a significant impact on the planet, and you will continue to make a significant impact on the planet, no matter what. I love you. I'll see you next Tuesday for episode 49. And if you're in the Toronto area, Ontario, anywhere in that vicinity, I am going to be doing an in-person event tomorrow night for 4 hours. And this is just the beginning of what we're going to be talking about. So the link is down below if you want to join us in person. In the meantime, be gentle with yourself. Check out my book, The Divine Design. It is a deep remembrance. It's having that conversation that I just had. And you're incredible. I love you.